All right, thanks for sitting with us, Robert.
Sure, absolutely.
I got to see the footage last night, and first off, I have to tell you, if the film, the tone, is anything like that trailer, I am all in.
Great, thanks. Glad you liked the tone of it. Yeah,
Yes.
the tone, we wanted to go more serious. Well, it's still a lot of fun, but the jokes come from the characters, and not just from putting jokes in there. So it's a good time.
So I know you've done it before, but what's life for you as a producer?
I hadn't produced before. Did you say I've done it before?
Yeah, I thought you were a producer on a few films.
This is like the only one that I've done really hands-on.
Like strictly as a producer?
Yeah, strictly as a producer, where I had a director right there in front of me that I could go watch over his shoulder and learn from, steal ideas from. It was interesting. I didn't know how that would work, but because I didn't come up with Predator originally, the original Predator, I wrote that script that we based this off of. I wasn't as precious to it. It was more like as a fan, I just wanted the movie to be as good as possible. So I wanted to assemble the best team and get to be a part of it and support, throw in ideas and help out where I could. But everybody did a great job.
So given the recent history of the Predator franchise, I mean, what can you say to fans that are seeing like this as a reboot or a sequel,
Well, when I first had the concept for this and wrote the original story in '96, there had only been Predator 1 and 2, so it was more of an answer to Predator 2 than anything. I thought, we got to go back to the jungle, but to make it different, we'll go to a different planet, a hunting preserve, because they just got pretending Predator 2 didn't exist. Thought, well, they just got beat by Arnold. Okay, they need to study this species a little more carefully to become more effective killers. So let's go get other types of people, kind of like, the best of killers and hunters and criminals and sadistic people and great minds as well, and figure out how to become more like them so they can be more efficient. So that was the idea I had back then, and now that we've had a few other AVPs, it was important to really reestablish a tone and get people to feel like this is the first in the series, not the fifth.
Now, kind of like a two-part question. What was your favorite aspect of production, and the newest thing for you as a director coming to the producer side?
Well, the newest thing for me coming in as a producer was just the fact that I could take a back step and see it from a different side. I mean, when you're in the trenches, it's one thing, but being able to do an overview, and I had more effects experience I could help Nimrod with, and problems that would come up, I could go, oh, I remember when I encountered this problem. Let's avoid this by going this way. And he would be like, oh, okay, because he knew I knew what I was talking about, and so we were able to keep things on budget, on schedule, and keep the money on the screen, and keep the focus. And it was just great for him just to have another set of eyes. But mostly he was able to carry it, solo. And I forgot the first part.
Favorite aspect of just the production in general?
Production in general was shooting here in Austin a Predator movie, walking out in my parking lot and seeing Predators walking around and getting to be a part of making, Predator history. It was really amazing to know that I get to be attached somehow to that world that I was a big fan of growing up.
So you talk about as a fan and the legacy. So what was like your moment of fandom?
Moment of fandom was because in my original script I had written in, there was a new breed of Predator, a different tribe, but I did want to put in the classic original that you hadn't seen since the Arnold movie, because they messed with the design so much it never looked the same again. So when we went and recreated that off the original, molds, it was so great to see him again. It's like seeing an old friend, the original Predator that you saw in that original movie. That was probably the geekiest. That felt like you were going in a time machine.
So if you only had like 10 seconds, fanboy comes up to you on the street and says, really? Another Predator movie? And what are you going to say to him right away?
I say, it's not another Predator movie. Those don't count. Pretend you've seen the first one, or you've seen none. This is going to be judged on its own. I'm a fan as well. This is a movie made from people who really know and appreciate why it's an enduring character. And I wanted to be involved. I didn't have to do this movie. I have plenty to do. I just thought we could add something to it to bring back to the fans that feeling that I had when I first saw the first movie.
Now, with such a, like I said, and this is by appearances of the footage, with such a serious movie and such a serious tone, what were some like not so serious moments on the set?
On the set itself?
Yeah.
Oh, what were some not so serious? Oh. I'm gonna have to think about that one for a while. I don't know. What was not so serious? What was I gonna say? I'll have to think. That's a good question. That's what happens when you have too good of a question. You get stumped for an answer. Like, I gotta think. Especially sets from set stories I can never think of. I always have to write those down.
Yeah.
Since I get a flash of all 50 days that we shot. So wait, which?
Well, speaking of the canned questions, I'm going to ask the question I always love to ask. What is something that you really didn't get to say about the film yet? Something that you really would want people to know, like fans, readers, anybody? Just something that you haven't really got to put out there.
I gave it out a little bit last night, but I haven't just talked about it at all today. It was just to put to rest the rumor that Cameron had done Cameron had come up with the original mouth mechanism on the Predator creature originally with Stan Winston. And I asked him, because I've known Jim for a while, I said, "Hey Jim, I've wanted to ask you this forever. Did you come up with a mouth on Predator?" He said, "Yes, I did." Stan showed me the design, and I said, "You know, what it needs is a mouth that opens like this." And that was Stan's interpretation of that. So that was Jim Cameron's contribution to Predator.
Awesome. So now, you came from kind of like the same situation just when you were starting out. So what was it like working with Nimrod, taking him and kind of like under your wing and saying, just go?
Yeah, well, believing in somebody is the first part of it. It's hard for a director to really get the confidence that he needs to lead if he's always got somebody questioning what he's doing. And there's a leap of faith you take in hiring somebody, and they're taking a leap in faith in being hired, because they don't know if you're going to be just riding them the whole time and just not letting them ever get in a groove. So I knew that was important, that I knew that if I ever needed to step in, I could, and I never had to, because you give them enough free rein to be able to get the confidence they need to run the movie, and he took off and did it.
All right, so since we're film school rejects, do you have a reject moment that you haven't gotten to share or tell
A reject moment
Yeah.
from film school, or just in general?
Just within film.
That was an example.
I don't know, running up to somebody with a script and then saying, "Get out of my face," anything like that.
I had this one. John Landis famously, sent Don Rickles a letter when he was younger, and Don Rickles wrote him back, and he went and made a movie about Don Rickles. And when I met John Landis, I sat next to him in a screening for Hostel. That's the first time I met him, and I said, "Hi, I'm Robert Rodriguez. I'm filmmaker." He goes, "Oh, hey, how you doing? I know you are." So when I was in high school, I sent you a movie I had made, a high school movie. And I never heard back from you, but that was okay. And he went, "Really?" And his wife was there going, "Hey, Don Rickles wrote you back." I'm surprised I didn't write back. And I go, "Oh, no, it's okay. You probably got a ton of stuff. I didn't expect it." And then the rest of the movie, while we're watching Hostel, every 20 minutes he would turn to me and go, "Now I want to see this movie. Now I'm really fascinated to see this movie. Where is it?" I was like, "I don't know where it is. It's in your office somewhere." So yeah, I got rejected by John Landis.
Awesome, thank you. But yeah, we really anticipate the film.
Great.
The footage. Actually, real quick question. How did you feel it went, after you got the audience, last night and this morning? Did you read any websites to see what
I
people
haven't had a
said?
chance to read, but I was sitting. I couldn't see the screen, but the screen was lighting up people's faces, and the joy on their faces was pretty amazing to watch. That's why we showed the trailer a second time, so I could watch it again, because they were just, even the second time, their faces were lit up, and it felt like when I was seeing the first Predator for the first time, watching. That's what you want movies to be able to do.
I was grinning ear to ear.
Yeah,
so.
you can't help it. It's like it's a Predator movie.
Yeah.
What's not to love?
All right. Thank you, Robert. We really look forward to it.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.